Hello, friends. We are going live on YouTube to follow up a brilliant meetup from the Health Anxiety University. To learn more about the Health Anxiety University, check out the link in the description right at the top. And we welcome you there, my friends. So let's give it a few moments here to kind of get organized. Let me put this over there. Yes, that's good. Right. We'll give everybody a few moments here. A few moments to catch up. There we go. Awesome. I like lives. Lives are fun. I like doing lives. I like being here with you. I like seeing how things are going. What sort of more than anxiety moments have arisen from either a video or a podcast or somewhere else or someone else who's doing a fantastic job of helping. So today we're going to talk about a heavy topic, and we're also going to do a Q&A, my friends, at some point. Yep, can see your comments in the chat. Fantastic. And we're going to talk about anxiety triggers today. We're going to focus in on the proper mindset, what anxiety triggers are, and what you can do about them starting today, because yeah, I mean, a lot of people are dealing with this right now, and you see it everywhere, and it really takes people down the path of that catastrophic rabbit hole. And once you go down that catastrophic rabbit hole, you know, a host of ideas can show up, from possibly something in the future going wrong, or mentally going crazy, or emotionally unbalanced, or physically falling apart, or the manifestation of something. So the ego mind, the unconsciousness, is very opportunistic, my friends. The moment you stop becoming aware of what's taking place and where these ideas are coming from, the ego mind, or the lower self, will jump in and swoop in and get you to follow its interpretations, its fears. And we're going to go deep into this. And it's nice to see you all. Jackie Harris, good morning, UK. Yes. Rudy the King. Hello, Austin, Texas. Let's go. And we'll give people another minute or two here, guys, to just kind of join and figure out that we're going live. These lives are important. You're here for a very specific purpose. It's not accidental. There's something that you need to hear from this live, or someone you need to connect with, or a question you need to ask in order for you to continue on this path of kind of transcending your lower self, transcending the ego mind's directives, and moving away from health concerns and anxieties and tippy-toeing around life. Dan, your program has really helped me. Good to hear. That's fantastic. You commit to those programs, my friends. I'm telling you, be ready to become someone different, and you're going to enjoy this person that you're becoming. So awesome, Dan. Good to hear. Let's see, here we go. And I want to keep the interactions kind of going as I talk about these anxiety triggers and other things that it connects to. Um, so, yeah, keep your comments going. I am reading them, I am aware of them. If I don't answer a certain question, please ask it at a time. Actually, as you ask those questions and I talk about the anxiety triggers, we can go back and forth, my friends, between the two. So let's do it that way. Um, Rudy the King, when I hear bad news, I get really bad anxiety. Like it's really hard to breathe and mouth gets dry. I and many people can relate to this. Now, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the triggers of anxiety. So, what is a trigger? Triggers are fear centered mental, emotional, physical reactions to a present or future experience, meaning something that's taking place in the present or something that may take place in the future. If you are going to do something that involves a certain amount of stepping outside of your comfort zones, then your system will be very vulnerable to that and will question why you're doing it and will try to prevent you from partaking in that thing that isn't very familiar, right? Remember, familiarity is safety. So as long as even even anxiety is this familiar way of going about life, and that's what your system likes. It likes familiarity. If anxiety, in its view, is the very reason for why you're safely going about your life without too much damage, right? Too many problems or feelings of overwhelm, then it will want to maintain the anxious state for as long as possible. This is known as the emotional refractory period. Whatever emotion has become very consistent is the very emotion that this system will default to, right? So you go about your day and you can see all the things that are wrong or could go wrong, right? And that is the emotional refractory period at work, right? It's reconfirming the state that it wants to keep you in. Therefore, right now, when we talk about the triggers and the keys to dealing with these triggers, thank you guys. Welcome to this live for everybody that's joining now. I know we are live and it's nice to connect. We're talking about anxiety triggers here. And some people have been asking about the Health Anxiety University. Yes, the link is right there in the pinned area in the chat. Hi to you, Ashokan. Hello. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nothing heals like a nice big smile or a nice big laugh, does it, my friends? Um, Now, here are some of the keys. Now that we know what triggers are, we feel them, we sense them, we think them, we feel them as a sensation in the body, that immediate kind of unconscious reaction to something. Often, and this is important to note with anxiety people, is that conflict brings up trigger or potential conflict. So, you're about to do something, right? And the trigger shows up to make sure that you don't post that thing or say that thing, right, in public. So that trigger is there as a bodily sensation or an idea to try to keep you from doing something that may create conflict, right? And so we go about tippy-toeing around life, never really speaking up or being our true self out of a fear of conflict with other people. We don't want to let people down, right? Anxiety people are very friendly. They are very smart. They are very intuitive. They are empathic. And so they're different in the way that they feel more and they're sensitized to things at a more deep level than other people. So these are things to take note of. Um, I'm really grateful for you, Dennis. Oh, you changed my life. Well, that is wonderful. And you're so welcome. And it's a life worth changing for the better. Rebecca, how are you? Rebecca's a part of the Health Anxiety University. We did a meetup yesterday. We do weekly meetups, by the way. Um, Link is in the chat. Come join us. And yeah, it's great to see you again. Here we are. I will be doing these lives on this day going forward as often as I can. The key is this. So here's one of the keys. So you're dealing with triggers. You're dealing with anxiety triggers, right? To see the triggering feeling as a call for attention, as a call for guidance and eventual resolve. Okay. So you want to see the triggering feeling as a call for attention, as a call for guidance, and as a call for eventual resolve. Notice how I didn't say immediate resolve, because when you're anxious, everything needs to be immediate, doesn't it? It needs to happen now, because you, rightfully so, are so tired and overwhelmed from dealing with the elements of anxiety for so many months or years that it's time to find that answer now. Now, the impatience is coming from the part of you that's still creating the anxiety, though. You see how that works? So, the part of you that's getting anxious and being triggered is also the part of you that wants to be impatient around the anxiety healing, because only that way can you stay in that line of anxiety. So when you get triggered, the response is, oh, this is a call for attention. Okay, this is a call for my attention. This is a call to be guided. The trigger is not looking to guide you. The trigger is not looking to tell you what to do, right? It's an unconscious response based around what's been practiced for so many years, right? However, that's not really the right answer here. It's calling for guidance from you. And as you guide that part of you that has been triggered, right? As you guide it, potentially through slowing down in that very moment, right? To going to your breathing patterns in that very moment, to becoming aware around you, and to most importantly, bring attention to the part of you that's been triggered. I hear you. I sense you. Even thank you for the trigger. I know that's very, very difficult, right? But eventually, remember, eventually resolving this. Thank you for the trigger. And we're going to go into why that is very important very, very soon. Okay. But up to this very point, what is the more than anxiety moment that you've just come across? Now, if you're coming onto this live and you're here and you know that there are some insights that you need to tap into, either you know them already or through me they're going to be strengthened in you. What is it that right now has just spoke to you? Comment below, and I want to hear from you. Bomtel, you're very, very welcome. Um, and we're going to get into some deeper questions here very, very soon. Yes, just to touch on this, if I may, Bomtel, in terms of the POT syndrome, and it won't go away after 7 years. Desensitizing the nervous system. So underneath, if you think about anxiety, underneath that, anxiety is not the problem, it's the effect. So underneath that, there are things in relation to trauma. There are things related to a dysregulated nervous system. And so when you think about the dysregulated nervous system, what you want to make sure you do is focus on three words: pie of causation. You want to make a pie of causation, okay? Especially if these things have been going on for a long time. Pie of causation, because the symptoms are just symptoms. When you make your pie of causation on that piece of paper, right? It's like a pie, and the pieces of the pie are the causes of what it is you're experiencing. So one of those things, I mean, could be as simple as a lack of sleep. One of those things could be as simple as anger towards your father still, right? Another one of those things in the pie of causation could be a mental approach, right? A mindset approach that says, I'm way too impatient in my anxiety healing journey. If you think about the healing journey itself, it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. And what we want to do is we want to take a Ferrari to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. But in truth, right, we're riding a cow, right? Or we're crawling there, right? And most often that's kind of how it goes. So it's very important that we respect the healing journey and make our pie of causation, because that pie of causation will lead you to what needs to get done. Okay? If that isn't clear enough, comment below and let me know. Again, guys, Health Anxiety University link is in the chat pinned, so please come join us, Health Anxiety University. We have meetups every week, and there's a lot of people there that are inspiring the rest of us and healing this, and would love to have you there. And thank you for joining this live. Thank you for being a part of this. Right? This is for you. This is about you. Anything related to medication, I cannot touch. But if you reword it to make it make the question come from a place of a more personal experience from myself, maybe I can help. Um, oh, you're very, very welcome. Very welcome. We'll just listen to your affirmations consistently help. Yeah, I mean, those affirmations, you can think of them as mantras, and mantras are ancient practices that tend to help us subconsciously and therefore consciously. So you can listen to them while you're doing other things. Absolutely. I've always got mantras going on in the background. Um, let's see here. Yeah, exactly. You can definitely listen to my affirmations at any time throughout the day. You're at home. You're going about your day. It's these are just they aren't necessarily there to heal you, but they will help to see that the solutions have always been within you, right? So it will bring out the love and gentleness and compassion towards the journey, and no longer allow you to move towards irrational fear automatically and be triggered. So that's kind of the way these affirmations work. So yes, absolutely listen to them. Yeah. You've just come to see the cup again, haven't you? Well, there you go. There you go. There it is. Yeah. I need a new one, right? I need a new one. This one's kind of falling apart a little bit. So I hope the handle doesn't break. But here we are. Letting go meditation is the part of my life listen every day. Now, Ashok has made a couple comments, and it seems like there is progress being made here. And one of those reasons for the progress is allowing herself to leave this noisy world for a little bit and go into one of my surrender session meditations on a regular basis. The word is militant. She is militant. She says she listens to it every day. And she is as militant at her, whatever you want to call it, spiritual practice, anxiety practice, I don't care. She's militant with these practices. And therefore, when she has free time, I bet you anything, she's focused on how can I keep regulating my nervous system rather than what will excite me. If you continue to go about your life looking for fun and excitement, you will revert to doom scrolling on social media, movies that are way too action packed for your nervous system right now, fear and drama coming from other people, any way to continue aligned with this need to suffer in some way. So I'm very proud of you for committing to your practice of surrender sessions. Excellent, excellent. Now, another goal when it comes to the triggers, guys, okay, when it comes to the anxiety triggers, another important goal is this, right? Is to and this will take a bit of reflection and time to stop blaming the external thing for the trigger, but seeing it as a blessing that has uncovered what's been negatively stored within you. So someone comes to you and you get triggered. Thank you for uncovering in me what's been suppressed for so many years and now it needs resolve. Thank you for triggering within me this situation, this experience, because now I can begin to work with that part of me that feels triggered. You see what's going on here? When we get triggered, we go, oh, that's triggering, right? And we start pointing the finger. We say, that guy triggered me, that woman triggered me, this experience triggers me. And instead of pointing the finger outwards, without blame, but only with compassion and looking to resolve, we point the finger inwards. And we say, this moment of feeling triggered is an opportunity. Therefore, on your piece of paper right now, you want to write down that there's no such thing as a trigger anymore, right? There are only opportunities for attention, guidance, and eventual resolve, right? You get triggered, don't point the blame outwards, because I've said this before. Guys, it's very important that you understand this. When you start thinking differently, when you start becoming someone different, when you start feeling differently, right around the corner, more often than not, is one of the biggest challenges you will ever face. Because the universe wants to make sure that what you're committed to is what you're committed to. If you're committed to inner peace and you get triggered and you start pointing the finger outwards, how far have you really come? Right? If you're feeling no anxiety and you're feeling calm as you're in your bedroom and you're reading a book, well, that's good, right? However, can you maintain that same identity and that same state as you go about the day, knowing how loud the world is and knowing how angry the world really is right now? We live in an angry world. We live in a very torn world, a divided world. There's a lot of people out there that are looking for the opportunity to question what it is you have to say in order to release some of the suppressed anger that they've been holding on to for years. Now, that's not a problem. If you fall for the trap and you become more like that person who's angry and fearful and so on and reckless, now it's a problem. So, again, I'm going to say this again. Stop blaming the external thing for the trigger. Start seeing it as a blessing that has uncovered what's been stored within you for too long. This is a new mindset. This is a whole new thing, guys. This is a whole new thing, right? It's a whole new thing. And it's exciting to some degree. It's exciting to say, wow, instead of my energy going outwards to point the finger and say, you did this to me, or you did that to me from the past or the present, or this did this to me, instead of your energy being swallowed up by doing something like that, you say, thank you for uncovering that feeling. that's been suppressed within me. That's what I need to work on right there. That's what I need to bring love towards. That's what I need to bring love towards. That's where your energy goes. That's where your focus goes. All right? Comment below if that speaks to you. Let's hear it. Drizdip, yes, I'm well. I'm very, very well. I'm so, so well. And I'm so, so well. Did I mention I'm so, so well? Especially being here with you all. Fantastic. It really is. Let's see here. What else? Let's see the comments from what I've just discussed. It's very important that you begin understanding these things and start implementing them in your life militantly. Ashok Khan, should we resolve all that comes out from us? I wouldn't see it that way. Do we make self-analysis? Please explain. We don't think about it in the way where we have to resolve everything that comes out. But our number one priority, the number one purpose, the number one goal for you in this lifetime is to transcend that ego-driven mentality, to transcend the fear-centered ego, okay? That is your purpose. That's what it is. So I wouldn't see it in terms of we have to resolve everything that comes out from us, but we want to maintain direct access to the part of us that's beyond anxiety. Ooh, that's a more than anxiety moment right there. Write that down, right? It just came from somewhere else. We have to maintain direct access and direct connection with the part of us that's already beyond anxiety, beyond all that. And what does that mean? That means that when we get triggered, when we get caught up, when we start clinging to something that we want to happen, I want my health to be better, I want this experience to go this way, I want to be acknowledged and appreciated by others. When we start clinging, we realize that the clinging is not coming from our true selves. It's coming from that same place that wants to maintain the anxiety. And we go beyond that. How would my higher self respond in this particular situation? It would respond with compassion. It would respond with gratitude. Thank you for bringing this up, this fear, okay? And when you think about things that you have to do, right? Because anxiety, people are always looking for what do I do in this situation? Do. Instead of looking for what to do all the time, take a moment to listen to that part of you that's already beyond anxiety, that already sees everything as fleeting, coming and going. Nothing is permanent. And that takes the ability to reconnect. People think they are anxiety. People think they are the triggers that they feel. People think they are the fears that they carry around with them. No. This is only a small part of you. And the only way this small part, this anxiety, this fear, the only way this fear, this ego can survive is if you continue to listen to it, right? If you continue to feed it. If you've got a fire burning and you keep putting logs on that fire, it's going to continue to burn, right? Just like the way you go, oh, I'm triggered, right? Oh, I got this anxiety. Oh, it's going to be a very difficult day. Why this? Why me? How come this is still happening? I've been on this. That is the very response that continues to put those logs on the fire. Now, we take those logs away by understanding that we are beyond this fear-centered response. So you go, I want to tap into that higher self right now. I want that higher self to guide me in this particular moment, which brings you to rational thinking. Now I can think about this scenario, this situation in a rational way, and I can change some aspect of my body. Anxiety makes us rush. So instead of rushing to transcend that, I need to do the opposite. And the opposite is to slow down. Instead of bracing and tensing my body, what the ego wants me to do, right? I'm going to relax. Instead of thinking the worst, I'm going to think the best. So you notice that so much of your anxiety healing depends on reconnecting with the voice of the higher self, yes, but also listening to the opposite of what your ego is telling you and acting in line with that instead. Comment below if that makes sense. Opposites will heal you. Opposites will bring you to a place of true clarity. That's the answer. Creative. Do you find that different emotions get trapped in different specific organs? Yes, the Chinese analysis shows. I have tremendous discomfort in my colon area. Yes, absolutely. You know what's interesting? And I I believe that there are specific points in the body where certain traumas are held, yes, and certain emotions, suppressed feelings and emotions are held, yes. But what is interesting is that through Louise Hay's book, Heal Your Body, and all the guidances that come from there, she talks about stomach, for example, meaning holding in nourishment. She talks about anything related to the heart, and specifically breast related, breast cancer, being related to support, back being related to the support, heart being related to love. So, not giving love, not receiving love, these sorts of things. Back related to support. I'm not getting the support that I need from people right now. So the lower back starts to ache, right? Um, Knees. When you think about knee problems, there's an inflexibility in the way we see things and our mentality. When we think about headaches, and anything above the neck tends to be, I'm relying on my head to give me solutions. I'm always up here in a mental way. I'm not living through my heart. I'm living through my head all the time. So as you can see, through those guidances, I've been able to connect so many of people's physical issues to what's really taking place emotionally. So I will continue to believe in that because it's working, right? Because number one reason, more than anything, I don't need to go see the studies. I don't need to go see the facts around this. After 12, 15 years of doing this, it just works. It just works, right? When you see someone who goes, my knees are achy, well, how flexible are you? How open minded are you when you take on new experiences? Oh, the guy goes, not really. He's very stuck in his ways or her ways. And then some flexibility starts to show up mentally. And then that moves on to emotional flexibility. And then the physical body eventually starts to become more flexible as well. And that's just one example. So our wonderful, beautiful metaphysical teacher, God bless her, Louise Hayes just gave us so much guidance. The Louise Hayes, the Dr. Claire Weeks, John Sarno, still absolutely amazing. Stephen Parkhills, Brent Baums, all these mentors of mine, um, trying to put it all together for you guys and make it as simple as possible. If you're going through my programs, for example, you'll understand how I've been able to kind of take all that and make it very, very simplified. Does that help? You mentioned the God mind. I posted something in relation to God that people just, they went crazy with a couple days ago. I don't want to use the word crazy or anything. Okay, apologize for that, but there was a lot of people that did not uh, take it the way it was meant to be taken, and I totally understand that, right? So I will be more careful with my wordings in the future, right? But yes, I tend to believe it's the Godhead, right? We're on this planet, we're on this very dense planet, right? And seeing what the world's going through right now, and we are the light. We are the light. And anxiety overcoming the anxiety at a mental, emotional level first moves us one step on the ladder towards the Godhead, I believe, right? And that's what we're searching for here. Learning how to trust myself, that I don't need to follow my anxiety any longer. Well, that's the step right there, right? That's it. Is I no longer have to be who I was last year, last month, right? This is coming from a part of me that needs guidance, needs resolve. Let's see here. What do you mean by opposites will heal you? Can you give an example? Sure. There's a couple examples there. Well, an opposite would be, for example, when you're trying to figure out what your symptom means, right? And you're reverting to your mental faculty or your mental body, and you're sitting there fixated, trying to figure out the underlying causes of your symptom. Instead of doing that, what's the opposite of that that you haven't really lived through? Well, that would be your intuition. That would be your heart sense. So in that very moment, what does your heart say about the intuition? Well, more often than not, what you're going to find is that your heart is telling you that you haven't really simplified your life and you're making it much more complicated than what it is. The head likes to complicate things, the heart likes to simplify things, right? And I do believe that it's a direct access to a higher piece of wisdom and knowledge that we all have access to. Another form of opposite is, like I mentioned before, anxiety wants you to speed up. Well, what's the opposite of that? Slowing down, right? The ego wants you to cling, right? The ego wants you to cling. Anxiety wants you to cling to a result. I hope this goes a certain way, or I hope this goes away. Instead of clinging, what do? We let go, right? And we practice letting go. We're very practiced with clinging. That's why when we start practicing the surrender sessions on YouTube, they can sometimes be challenging. And that's the letting go process, right? So those are just a few of the opposites that we're talking about. Opposites can come in the form of an opposite idea or thought, an opposite action, an opposite physiological response. Instead of me drooping and tensing my body, saying, oh, this is all very difficult. Oh, what's the opposite of this? Well, I can sit back. I can put my chin up here and I can experience the symptoms for what they are. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, right? And here we are. Come on, I'm not trying to get rid of you. Keep going. Keep those symptoms going. They haven't killed me now. If they would have killed me, I would have died by now. But here I am, learning the lessons I need to learn right now, moving to the next stage in this awakening that we're all going through, right? Uh, Shake, I'm doing great. Welcome to the live. Yeah, thank you. Uh, let's see. Quiet mind is bliss. Yes, the world is very loud. The world is very loud. Vivian1124, does that create some clarity around your question? Your presence is calming. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad. That's good. That's helpful. You are more than anxiety, Ashokan. That is fantastic. I love hearing those success stories. Now, here's the thing. I really need to get in your program. Well, head over to theanxietyguy.com. At theanxietyguy.com, you'll find the program that suits you the best. If you go through the Inner Circle program, we are healing things at a deep subconscious level. Health anxiety related, if you're going through the health anxiety program, we're trying to deflate the fear and no longer be so fear-centered in relation to our symptoms. Health anxiety program has helped many people over the years. So panic, if you're going directly to a panic response regularly, well, there's a program for that as well. Shall we have a social here? A social sip. Social sip. or 3. South Australia, Barb Jameson, hello to you and lovely to see you as well. Lovely to see you and everyone here. Thank you and great to be here. In terms of anxiety triggers, we talked about a couple things so far. And here's what's important. Okay, let's take note of this, please. All right. Which tea is it? Today, it's water. Tea with Dennis has turned into water with Dennis. Some days you just pulled towards water, and other days you're pulled towards a herb. Right? Now, triggered. Someone's mentioning public speaking. Right? Okay, there's another example of being triggered. You want to recognize that the part of you that has been triggered is only a conditioned part of you. Now, it's not indicative of your capabilities, right? So, this is a part of you, and it's not indicative of what you are capable of. Therefore, when we experience the emotional and the physical effects of the trigger, it doesn't mean that what the trigger believes is going to happen is going to happen. And that's how we go beyond this. When we start to see that there's a part of us that is really looking for guidance, for example, public speaking. There are many, many different ways to deal with public speaking. I'm a big imagery-based person. I do a lot of trauma work with people through my programs and one-on-ones. And so I use imagery. I'm not going to kind of give you any kind of imagery technique now because I don't feel led there. But I do want to say that the mindset is very important. If the trigger comes with what I'm about to say to these people in public, they may not agree with, and things may get to a point that's uncontrollable on the stage or whatever it is, right? If that's what the ego is saying, hands on the heart. I feel into the trigger. I can feel the shakiness. I can feel the anxiousness. I hear you. I'm looking to understand you. Your perspective is one that is looking to keep me safe and looking to keep me away from this public speaking moment. However, I want you to know that these people are here to hear something from me so that I can help them, so that I can guide them. I thank you for that emotional, that physical experience. And let's do this together. Let's get on that stage with a smile and let's slowly and gently speak through our heart. We can do this, and I hear you, and I acknowledge you, and I love you. You see what I did there? Now we're building up one of the most important relationships there is to build up in anxiety healing. It's the relationship between the part of you that's now aware and conscious and the part of you that's unconscious. When you build this relationship up, it becomes addicting in a good way, right? And we no longer fall for the old interpretation, but now we're moving that part of us with us into a new world. And as we move into that new world, we do it differently. And we find that over time, we're no longer afraid of anxiety. The fear of anxiety provokes more anxiety. The fear of symptoms creates more fear. The fear of the ideas and the images that cross our mind creates more of these images and these ideas. This relationship between you and the trigger, between you and the body, is one that takes time. It takes awareness. It takes gentleness. And we have to stop seeing these things as being bad. These are things that are calling for your resolve, your guidance, your attention. Now, if you can do this, when you can do this for the next couple days, weeks, months, years, to build up this relationship, to listen, you're going to find that you're no longer as afraid as the ego mind is. You're no longer as afraid as your unconsciousness. And the moment you stop being as afraid of your unconsciousness, or afraid as your unconscious body is, unconscious body braces itself, tenses itself, creates sensation, symptoms. As long as you are not consciously as afraid of something as the body is, that's a massive step forward. It's a massive step forward. And from there, as long as you don't get caught up and say, well, why isn't my body getting better? As long as that doesn't show up and you continue building this relationship on a daily basis and continue re-qualifying new ideas, right? And directing them to that part of you that needs healing and guidance, you're on the right track. You really are. We can really keep it that simple. And I'm so happy that you're here. You need to hear something here today. You need to hear something, right? Either from me or from the comments section or something, right? That moves you up one more step on that ladder. So comment below and let's hear your more than anxiety moment from the last few minutes. The more you want something to go away, the more it's going to stick around. Okay. So what we need to understand is that often it's the sincerity around our new mindset that needs to be strengthened. So this shortness of breath is trying to tell me something. It's trying to tell me that I shouldn't take on the day. It's trying to protect me from life and how life may unfold, right? It's been there for so many years unconsciously. And what's interesting is when we stop trying to make these things go away and we stop forcing new breathing patterns in. Breathing work is very, very good as long as you're not in a frantic state. Affirmation work is very, very good as long as you're not in a frantic state. Imagery work as well. A frantic state is an opportunity for you to bring compassion to the franticness. It's an opportunity for you to kind of see the franticness, to feel the franticness, acknowledge it for the lesson it's trying to give you, right? And to allow it for as long as it wants to continue to give you that lesson. But do not try to get rid of it. Because when you start to get rid of it, what are you doing? You're adding more franticness to the original franticness, right? That's why it's very important that you look back and go, what doesn't work for me? What's not working? And that's the biggest, what you just said there, Pakistani, right there, right? I want it to go away, right? Tav, always inspirational. Good to see you. Now, don't get me wrong. Breathing patterns, breathing work, breath work, very, very, very valuable. Probably right up there, right? 4-7-8s, 4 seconds in, 7-second hold, 8-second out. Beautiful for insomnia, for getting your nervous system to a place where it's more relaxed. I'll give you another one. Double inhale, long exhale. Well, we'll do it through the nose, of course. Now we're touching on vagus nerve stuff. So very, very powerful. So just don't approach these things as the end all be all. Use them militantly on a daily practice, on a daily basis, as part of your life, right? You do breath work because it's a part of your life. You meditate on a daily basis, simplifying the meditation because it's a part of your life. If prayer is one of those things that speaks deeply to your soul and helps you stay connected with Source, then that's a part of your life daily, right? One of the best ways to get out of anxiety is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Now, so many people are saying, Dennis, how can I be grateful when I'm experiencing so much anxiety? It's the fact that you're not grateful that continues to fuel more anxiety, right? However, anxiety will get you to always focus on things that are wrong and could go wrong. But when you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, now you begin focusing on things that are right and things that could go right. And then what happens to the anxiety? It starts to subside now, right? So we're now talking about certain skill sets along with the mindset. Um, do not allow anxiety to dupe you into thinking that this is the rest of your life. Do not think that anxiety triggers are actually truthful interpretations of what's taking place in the world. It's not, right? Um, and we can work with these things, right? And we must. We must. You're here right now to realize once and for all that it's time to stop coping with anxiety and managing your symptoms. And it's really a time to start dissolving this, right? It's a time to get, I don't want to say serious because seriousness cuts us off from healing. It really does. It cuts us off from those inner resources. I want us to come at it from a more playful and lighter place, our healing journey. But I want this to be priority number one for you. So anytime in the future you've got free time and anxiety is looking for you to be excitable again and go on your phone and start doom scrolling or just mindlessly doing something, right? For the sake of fun, entertainment, or habit, in that very moment, you realize that no, my number one priority here is to heal this anxiety. It's to heal the anxiety, right? It's to bring calm to my nervous system. It's to make peace with what I've been fighting for. And guys, I want to say this as well because it just came up. This may be far from where you are right now or it may be close. It doesn't matter, but it still needs to be said, right? When you start to bring understanding, love, and empathy towards the very things that used to trigger you, towards the very things that you used to be afraid of. When you bring love towards those things that you used to fear, the things that you used to blame, that is a remarkable step forward. Someone triggered you and you feel conflicted, angry, you want to get back at them, you want to take revenge on them. I know, for example, right? Instead, bring love to that person, wish them healing because they're hurting so very much deep down. They may not be showing it. Allow them to go through their own healing journey, right? Do not get caught up in their web of anger. Do not get caught up in their web of drama, their web of anxiety, for example. That's just one example, right? Bring love to the things that you fear. Bring love to the things that have triggered you. Ehethia. More than anxiety moment is doing something despite feeling the dread inside. Gradually, you realize the dread was just the anxiety. That's beautiful. I love that. It brings tingles to my body, right? Doing something despite feeling the dread inside. And you must do it in a way where it's kind of like walking a dog. When you're walking the dog and the dog is on the leash, let's say it's a very small dog, right? You wouldn't go sprinting with that dog on the leash beside you, because if you sprint, what's going to happen to that dog? The dog can't keep up. The legs are not long enough. It's not a big enough dog. Maybe with a Labrador or something, or a golden retriever, you can sprint. They can keep up. But with a small dog, you can't sprint. You're going to injure the dog. And if you injure the dog, what happens? The dog starts to become more afraid the next time you go take it for a walk. So if you're taking your own unconsciousness, your ego mind for a walk, don't sprint, right? Do it in a manner that provides safety, that provides love and understanding, guidance to that part of you, the anxiety. Do it slowly, do it compassionately. You don't have to be as outgoing as you want to be. You don't have to be that person that's loud in social gatherings, right? It, you don't have to be like other people. You don't have to be an extrovert if at the moment you're feeling like an introvert. Just understand that you don't have to be anyone. You can be nobody. And often being nobody brings us right back to who we truly are deep down. So don't take that little dog for a sprint. Take that dog for a gentle walk, right? That's the key. That's the key. Um, let's see here. Pakistani, I was experiencing extreme physical tiredness. Watched your videos, helped me a lot, very much. Back to life now. There you go. It's interesting how one piece of advice or one tweak in your mindset, from anxiety bad to anxiety needs guidance, anxiety needs my conscious help, anxiety needs a new perspective, right? Right? Anxiety needs me to slow down. What does anxiety need from me? What can I do for the anxiety that will begin turning danger to safety? I can't tell you how many times I've seen people do something very, very simple in today's very confusing world of self-help healing. Someone does something very simple on a regular basis that they get to a place that they just can't believe. They start to feel lighter. They do their meditative practices every single morning, which sets the tone for the day. They bring an attitude of gratitude the morning they wake up. Ego wants to say everything could go wrong and everything is wrong because I'm still experiencing these symptoms. I should get this and that checked. And then you say, I know you're looking for guidance. And let's cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Hands on heart. I love hands on heart. Thank you for bringing us together for this life. Thank you for allowing me to see that other people are going through challenges just like I am, and I send love to them. Right? Thank you so much for this specific person's support. Thank you for allowing me to just bring a smile to my face. Sometimes even that can be so difficult with anxiety. Just a simple smile to the face. Thank you for that. Thank you that 99.9% of my body is actually very healthy, right? And I can live with a body that's not perfect. I can live with a mind that's not perfect. I can live with emotions that are not perfect. I embrace my imperfection. Thank you for making me imperfect. Right? Thank you so much. Right? VDMZ, you are very, very welcome, and thank you for sharing that. Got you through tough times. You know, you got yourself through tough times, and I was hopefully the bridge that helped you to see what was within you the whole time. So well done, and just keep going. Just keep going. I'm glad your sleep is improving, because that really is top of the list. Um, in relation to anxiety triggers, you are not a victim of it. Okay, there's no more victimization. If in your life right now you keep reverting back to why me, if you keep reverting back to how come things are not improving, oh, thank you, Barb. Thank you, conscious awareness. Thank you. I love the name. I love it. I will be coming to India very, very soon. I cannot wait. There is no victim, right? It's amazing how the ego mind and the unconsciousness can take us down a path that is so far from what's true. And I just want to say that I love you all. I really love you all, and be kind towards others, please. You never know what other people are going through, and never allow that unconsciousness or that ego mind to make decisions for you, right? And keep that smile on your face, and I promise you soon things are going to improve. They really are. So if you get a chance, share this live with others. It was very nice hanging out. I hope to do these on a regular basis. And if you want to join us in our meetups for the Health Anxiety University, please check out the link in the chat or the link in the description. We'd love to have you in our community. I know there's a couple people here as well, so it's nice to see you again from yesterday. And love you all, and just keep it up. And how can you help me? Well, I whatever feels right to you, honestly. Whatever, you being here and putting your trust in me to share some ideas that may help you, that's really enough for me. I don't need much more than that. I never have, never will. Everything else is a bonus. So you're already helping me. All right. And have a great day, guys. And you are more than anxiety always. Please share with others in need. Bye, my friends.